every time I cleaned her, she would go again and go again. I was like, this lady is leaking. Hi guys, my name is Yessica Lamadiadi-Burin and welcome back to Living Life with your favorite nurse. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and join the family, and if you're one of my returning subscribers, welcome back. So today we're talking about my experience as a PSW, how I quit, how it was crazy, and honestly how it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. But before I start this story time, honestly, I just want to thank all the PSWs out there that work daily to take care of the elderly, those in the hospital. Honestly, everywhere in the healthcare system, PSWs are needed and they work so hard. It's a job that honestly not everybody can do, but they do it and they make it work and they do such a great job. So God bless you all. So when I was in university, or was I in high school? Honestly, I'm just blanking right now. I worked for a company as a sitter, so basically I had to like sit with the elderly population and just keep them company, and that was a great job as well. But I've had honestly so many jobs, so then I applied to be a PSW at an agency, and I would say that's where the horror began. Everything just went downhill. So basically when you're working for an agency as a PSW, you don't actually work at one particular place. They post you to different places, like every day, like you might go to this long-term care home, another day you might go somewhere else. So you're not really familiar with the people, you're not really familiar with the staff. So that makes it hard. Like you're expected to show up for a shift and just like know what to do. First of all, you don't even know where anything is because this is your first time being at this place. Like it's great when you're posted to the same place for a couple days because you kind of like get to know the place, get to know the people. But imagine like your shift starts at 7 in the morning and you're expected to go change all these people, get them ready for breakfast, or maybe get them ready for bed, and like you don't even know where their rooms are, you don't even know where your floor is. So that's one thing that just made working for an agency difficult. And I just kind of found like when you're the person from the agency, like you kind of just get blamed for stuff. Like the regular staff kind of do their thing, and like if they can maybe give you the harder patients and take you know, the easier patients, they might. I can't speak to everybody, but I kind of found when I was working for the agency, that's what people did. Like I just found like I got all the larger patients. I got all the patients that were just kind of stiffer, so they're harder to move in bed, and like I had to use a lift. They can't get out of bed on their own. Like they needed a lot of assistance opposed to someone that can just wake up and like you help them get changed and they're ready for breakfast. And all the people I had, typically like I'd have to bathe head to toe. They could not help me, they could not speak, they could not do any of those things. So that's what really made the job really difficult. So one day early in the morning they called me at 6 a.m. that someone called in sick, and I was being posted to this far long-term care home. I think it was like in Canada. It was just really far. I was on the bus for like 2 hours. So I got there and they told me that the person that called in sick was the one who was going to give the baths to every patient. I was like, oh wow, okay, so this is gonna be my job today. I'm gonna basically be like the bathing girl. I have to bathe everybody. So they gave me a list of everyone who I needed to bathe that day. So like, first of all, I had no idea where the shower was, where the bathtub was. Like, I had no idea where anything was. And I had a list of like 20 people who I had to go take there and bathe. So I was like looking for someone to help me. Can you at least show me where the shower is? Can you show me where I'm gonna bathe these people? Can you show me where I'm gonna get all the linens from? Like no one wanted to help me, and I get that. Like they have their work to do. So it already started out like wonky, messy. It wasn't great. So I found my first patient, and then I finally found out where everything was. So I took the patient to the bathtub, and I got the patient in the bathtub. First of all, it took me a while because I didn't even know how to use like this type of bathtub and machine. And then I started bathing the patient, and next minute I knew the patient was trying to jump out of the bathtub while I was bathing her. It was like so ridiculous, crazy. Like I was like, please ma'am, stay in the tub. And she was hitting me, she was slapping me, like she was putting her leg over the tub. It was crazy. I'm like, if you die, I'm gonna lose my job and you're gonna lose your life. Please stay in the tub. Like, everywhere was wet. I was screaming for help. I pulled the call bell. People came in running and they're like, oh, she does this all the time. I'm like, so no one could have told me this before? So they're like, yeah, like usually 2 people are meant to bathe her, but we're short staffed, so you gotta do it by yourself. And I was like, so already I'm like, you guys kind of just left me alone. You knew that this person needed 2 PSWs. I'm by myself. I don't know her. You didn't even give me the 411 that she's gonna try to jump. So that was hell. Honestly, I cut her bath a little short, got her out, put her back in her room, and moved on to the next person. The next person I think was a lot nicer. That one went well and good. It was fine. There was just so many people to do. I was overwhelmed because like you have to bathe them, then go put their clothes back on, then put them in bed or put them wherever they need to be. So that was just really, really wild. So the next lady I had was honestly like the sweetest lady in the world. So I brought her to the shower place and I was washing her and everything. And then I was like, you know, because you have to wash their bum. I was washing her bum and then I just noticed that there was like, boom, something just fell into my hand. Something just fell while I was washing her bum. And I looked at my hand. I was like, wow, you just pooed in my hand. So I was like, okay, no big deal. So I re-washed her again. And there she went again. She pooed in my hand. I was like, okay. And for some reason, you know, sometimes they give the elderly prunes and laxatives. Every time I tried to wash her bum, she pooed. And I think I was in there for almost 30 minutes because every time I cleaned her, she would go again and go again. I was like, this lady is leaking. So that was just an awful experience. I felt like I smelled like feces. I smelled like poo. Like I felt like even though it didn't get on me, I could just smell it. Like I put sanitizer in my nose. Like you can't really wear perfume because a lot of them cannot stand the smell of perfume. And the smell wouldn't go away. I felt like it was in my hair. Like I just felt like I smelled so bad. So like I couldn't even eat lunch because all I could do was smell poo. It was just awful. So then again, I had lunch but didn't actually eat. I just like drank. I got a drink and I drank and water. And then I got back to work. So the next patient I had, again, another nice lady. I brought her to the shower and I showered her. First of all, in the shower, like I was wearing my running shoes. They didn't give me any boots to shower anyone because they said they were out. So like my sneakers were soaking wet. Take note, like when you're in the shower, you're like moving the shower, it's not a hose, but the shower head around and like you're getting extremely wet. So like in my shoes, like was Lake Ontario. It was the canal. Like my socks were wet. Every time I was walking everywhere, you just heard the squeak, squeak, squeak because there was water filled in my shoes. But that's not even the worst part. So I was bathing her and she started peeing, which is normal, like people pee in the shower, but she was just peeing everywhere. And then I was washing like the back of her arm and then she kind of just went like this and I slipped because she kind of hit me in the stomach and I slipped, one, because I'm not probably even wearing the right shoes for the shower. I slipped and I fell and I landed in all the water and all her pee. And I just laid there. I was like, wow, this is my life. So you would assume I would have gotten up and she's like, are you gonna get up? It's like, no, just gonna lay here for a little bit. So the water was dripping on me. I was soaking wet. I smelled. I was laying in pee. Pee was all over me. And I was like, wow, I gotta come back here tomorrow. So eventually I got up. I was soaking wet. I was dripping throughout the halls. I brought her back to her room and I changed her and I didn't have any spare scrubs, so I was wet. I like tried to dry myself with a blow dryer, but I smelled like pee. I still smelled like poo, and it was just nasty. I finished the day, thank goodness. I don't know how I finished it, but I did. And I got home and I sat there on my couch and I was like, I have to go back tomorrow. So I called the office of the agency and I was like, unfortunately, I quit. I quit. Bye. I was like, no, I can't do this. Thank you so much. I will not be there tomorrow. And then my mom came home and I can't remember what she asked me, if like maybe I was working tomorrow or something, and I was like, I quit. So she tells that story to everybody of how I quit my PSW job. That day just like knocked me over the edge. I could not go any further, like, and it's funny because like, actually it's not funny at all. Many PSWs go through that daily. They go through hitting, they go through people spitting on them, they go through so much, and I just find like they're not as appreciated as they should be for all the hard work they do and what they have to deal with. That job is physically demanding, emotionally demanding. It is hard. So honestly, I commend every PSW out there for doing it. Obviously, it's not something that I did very long. I think I did it for like a month and a half. That might be a stretch. But for me, that was too much. I could not handle it. So that was basically the story that pushed me over the edge and made me quit my PSW job. Again, it's something like I needed through school, but I can't remember like if it was high school or university, but you know, just to have some cash on the side as I was trying to become a nurse. But I had to look for another job and I found something else, thank goodness. All right guys, so that's basically my story time. Again, God bless you to all the PSWs out there. You are appreciated and your job is not easy. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in and keep living life from your favorite nurse.